Lake Pro Tackle fam, this guy right here is the Daiwa Tatula Elite Pitch Flip. This one right here is going to be rivaling some of the best of the best. What did Daiwa do to make this one so special? What are the upgrades compared to the old Tatula Elite? We're going to be talking about that in this video. But before we go anywhere, guys, we have a Bassmaster Classic sale going on here pretty soon. March 13, 14, and 15. We've got 20% off all orders of $250 or more. So now is the time to stock up. Make sure to check out our huge selection of rods and reels, as well as maybe some of our swim baits. And it doesn't just have to be one item, guys. Save 20% on all orders, $250 or greater. So make sure to check that out. The Bassmaster Classic days, 13, 14, and 15. And let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win Bassmasters Classic. We'll see if anyone gets it right. And if someone does, or multiple people we might get a little prize package sent out to you. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win the Bassmasters Classic. So going back here, this is, again, the brand new Tatula Elite Pitch and Flip. There are a lot of cosmetic changes. There's a change in the overall body system. There's a change that I think a lot of you will actually enjoy. So I have the old model right next to it here. So side by side overall from the top, you're definitely going to notice they utilize a new body style. This is more similar to that 100 size Tatula SVTW that came out this year. And I love how they went with more of a matte black finish on it with silver highlights. I think it looks really good. It looks really clean. The last model they had is going to be a very similar color. So staying within that very low key, low profile family, it looks really, really good. Now, comparing them from a side profile, you're going to immediately notice that with this newer body design, it's a lot taller. So one of the complaints, or one of the benefits for a lot of anglers, was that with the older model, it palmed extremely well, even on bigger, thicker flipping style rods. So one of my things with this older Elite is that it fit really well in my hands. I have long fingers. I have overall kind of like, I would say, average-ish sized hands, and it fit really well. The reel itself, pretty smooth. It was a workhorse. It had an amazing drag in it. You know, even being able to lock it down, it was still smooth. And you know, if I had to lock it down in ultra heavy cover situations, it definitely did that. This one here, the new model 2026 Tatula Elite Pitch Flip, takes all of the great things about this model here and puts it in, I think, a much stronger, more robust package. Now, the feel of the reel, when you fish it, you know this frame is not going anywhere. It is locked down. I think it boasts 13.2 pounds of drag, which, you know, compared to like a lot of the Lus and the Abus, which boast around 24, this drag is ultra smooth, even at 13 pounds of drag. And you can even lock it down to where, honestly, that drag might not be coming out ultra smooth, but it can lock down for ultra heavy braid situations. They rate this for 60 yards of 50-pound J braid, and with fluorocarbon or mono, I think you're getting like 70 yards with around that 16-pound line or J fluoro, 16-pound J fluoro. It's kind of that range. So you're still going to be able to get a good full cast out there without hitting the back of the spool. Now, obviously, if you're throwing like a really big weight, you're going to be able to cast this out. But most of the time, this is a pitch and flip reel. So some of the major upgrades that I have noticed between this model and the old model is going to be that this one here utilizes the LC concept, which is the long cast concept. So it allows you to still get really good underhand roll casts, like flipping and pitching, as well as skipping around boats and docks and anything else you want to skip around. So if you want to pack this with braid, throw a frog up tight to cover, pair this up with a Steez Target Sniper. It is going to be an incredible combo. It feels incredible and it balances really well. Now, compared to, you know, obviously like Steez and some other reels out there, this is a little bulkier reel. It has a little bit more power behind it. Like I've been saying, guys, you can crank down on these fish. This has a 100mm set handle or swept handle to where it's going to feel very tight to the reel. It feels great when you're working those fish, as well as just going to make your flip, get your hand on there, and it's nice and easy. So you're getting a lot of torque out of that longer handle, as well as overall a lot of torque out of the reel, utilizing the hyperdrive design. Another great thing about this one, it comes in 2 different gear ratios. So I tell most people, if you don't know, just go with the high speed, the 8.5 to 1. They also make a 7.1 to 1 gear ratio. So if you're fishing vegetation or anything that has a little bit of give and you need extra torque or super, super dense cover like trees, go with that 7 to 1. That is going to give you the most torque on a gear ratio basis. Now, you're going to have that 100 mil handle, but you're also going to have that higher torque conversion with that lower speed. So if you're fishing grass, I highly suggest throwing that 7.1 to 1. If you're just open, kind of not open water, but you've got less dense cover, I like to go with a super, super high speed in that 8 gear ratio, or even 9 sometimes. You know, there's some hyper speed style reels out there from like Abu and Luz, that, or even Cast King has one that I think is a speed demon. Ultra fast. You lose out on torque, but you gain a lot of speed, so you're able to catch up to those fish. A lot more of the time, you're going to have to pump those fish, so you reel down and pump and reel down and pump. With these, it honestly feels like you can just sit back here, and with the body, the hyperdrive design, the gearing in it, you're able to just sit here and crank, which is really, really good for keeping those fish penned. A lot of the time, if you go down and pump, you're going to lose pressure, and that fish can shake off in that little momentary distraction piece. Now, going back to aesthetics, very, very similar color style. You're going to see, again, silver accents on the new one. Other than that, you know, I think the reels are very, very similar. The handle feels almost exactly the same. It honestly does feel like it is tighter to the reel in the older one. And I'm looking at it side by side here. I mean, maybe barely. That older model, if I line up the thumb bars, it's close, very, very close overall. But, you know, nothing really bad to say about this new Tatula Elite pitch and flip. With most pitch and flip reels or skip and pitch style reels, I usually prefer fluorocarbon, usually 20 pound. My Luz Pro SP, one of my favorite kind of close quarters combat reel. I really love 20 pound fluorocarbon on that. However, with this one, I find that braided line seems to do a lot better. Now, one of the main reasons with that is typically going to be with braided line, it's usually a little bit thinner, as well as going with the T-wing system here. And the T-wing and the Daiwas, it can really throw that braid extremely, extremely easily. Now, another thing with that, with the spool and the LC concept, I think it manages the braid a lot better. It's going to be kind of that dual stage braking system where the braid just feels really, really good going through. Now, you know, going back to why I typically don't throw braid is because fluorocarbon kind of cuts through the water a lot easier than braid, and it feels like a more direct connection to my lure. But with this guy right here, I am finding that the braided line is much more preferred. J braid or the X braid seems to work great, even in those higher abrasive kind of categories. I have not tried something like the Seagar Smackdown, which is usually my go-to for a lot of braids. And just for reference here, this is a penny. You're able to get that little spool piece open or the side plate open utilizing that. That or a dime works really well if you don't have a screwdriver on the boat or pliers to get in there if you need to get in there. But overall, guys, so many good things about this guy right here, the Pitch and Flip Tatula Elite 2026. I hope you check them out online at lakeprotackle.com. We've got a few in stock from the first shipment, so I hope that you go check them out. So that guy's right there, my little review of the Daiwa Tatula Elite Pitch and Flip, comparing it to the old one. Again, things to note: body style, overall performance, as well as casting ability. Lots of upgrades in this one right here, and stay tuned for a bunch more of the new product reviews from Daiwa USA. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.